Alright, everybody, brace yourself for a sec, because I haven't done audio checks with Zombie Grub in like forever, so this might be loud. Hey, Zombie Grub, how you doing?
Hello.
Okay, no, I undershot. Good. That's better than being too loud. All right, let's go again. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hello.
Okay, that sounds much better. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to have you back. It's nice to read Zombie Grub's name on the overlay again. We are going to be casting the Corsair Cup for those who don't know what's going on today. And of course, this is the very last Corsair Cup of the year. And more importantly, the last Corsair Cup as you know it. Drama, drama, drama. Big things to talk about on stream. I'm not going to save it to the finals. We'll just wait till we get the series underway. And then we'll talk about the big changes that are coming to 2017 for the Corsair Cup. But right now, brackets are finalizing. We got a couple of other things to talk about too. I guess number one, check out our fundraiser if you haven't already. !mega in the chat. In fact, I should have that probably on the overlay at all times. But yeah, make sure to check out our mega fundraiser we're doing. Other than that, Zombie Grub, will I talk with our admin, regale us with tales of how things went for Nation Wars?
Oh, will I? Okay.
Well, I mean, more like, will you? Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay. So, yeah, been away for a while. It feels kind of weird, but Nation Wars was a lot of fun. The old gaming place is very big. It's very cluttered, and unfortunately, I guess I was sick then, and I'm still sick now, which is really annoying because it's just like the last remnants of sickness. But managed to, hit that cough button every single time. So that's what I'm gonna try doing here, basically. Except it's a mute button on Skype.
Yeah, actually, I guess there's the fact that you were over in France, which is cool. But it occurred to me, right? Like, you've been in Korea for so long too. This is like the first non-PC bong / tiny little apartment cast in a while too. You're back in your room. How
Yeah.
comfy is it to be back home?
I mean, it's really nice. Good Christmas with the family and all that, but I had to do so much unpacking and so much traveling that I'm still getting used to it. Like, I played a couple of games of StarCraft on this computer. It feels like it's been forever, and it felt really weird. So I've just been getting used to everything again.
I don't remember the buttons feeling like this, guys. It was so different.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally the same keyboard, same mouse, same monitor, but everything's different. Exactly.
Well, hopefully it doesn't take you too long to reacclimate back to, I guess, normal. We have, and I wasn't sure if this was right, but I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Leenock is actually checked in and playing today, which is gonna be kind of cool. That is some cross-server action, however. The more expected players like Bly and Nurchio and Lilicanine and what have you, those are the guys I think we're a lot more used to seeing. But a lot of Zerg in today's bracket. I hope you're liking the current ZvC, Zombie Grub, because it feels like that's what this might boil down to.
No, but that's fine.
I think, okay, so right now ZvZ can be really fun. Like, you didn't get to see this. I think you saw some of it. But like when we saw Scarlet and Leenock, like those are the type of ZvZs I love. Those are the type of ZvZs I pray for when we see them coming up on the bracket. They're aggressive, they're dirty, there's a little bit of mind games. Like, those are really fun. But I think Roach into Roach or Muta versus Muta, you're okay, cool, so this is the same. This is slow. Okay, now it's finally happening. Great, game was over in 2 seconds. It
Doesn't sound like ZvZ. It doesn't look like ZvZ changed that much from what I saw on, casting Nation Wars. So.
No, it's just. Looks like the brackets are going live. Yep, they are final. All right, let's pick our first game.
How did I survive without a chair? We actually had a chair. There's some really weird
The chair memes were hilarious, actually.
Yeah, so apparently there's a lot of talk about us not having chairs and people chairs for casters, donation jars and shit like that. I didn't really mind not having a chair. I know that's for instance how the LCS does it, and occasionally some WCS events would do it for the analytical side of things, when they're in front of the screen. I didn't really mind it, but there was definitely some oh, I wouldn't expect to have to do this. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
Instead of cups type deal. So, but I got I just copied basically what Funko and Rotterdam were doing, and it felt fine. And honestly, I'd much rather stand when casting. I don't know about being on camera, but I'd definitely do it rather for casting. So apparently, I guess one thing led to another, and they eventually gave us those like stool seats that you guys saw.
Those stool seats looked very uncomfortable and left for some very awkward situations. I'm not sure if you heard about these or not.
Awkward situations.
Yeah, I'll explain in a second. So we're gonna try and grab Goblin versus Leenock first, just because it looks like Goblin's here, but I'm not sure if Leenock actually is on. But yeah, so for example, like the stools were very not flattering for a lot of the folks sitting in it. There's even a couple instances where you didn't look so hot sitting in said stools, but you had some of the French guys with their button-up shirts, and the way it was like it would hunch them over because you had to sit that way was like the buttons would do that thing where it all spreads apart, so you can kind of see like the tummy through the shirt and stuff, and you're like, that doesn't look very good at all.
See, when I wore a button-up shirt, I just, I always wear something underneath it because it's not my belly that I'm worried about being shown.
Well, no, it's just like it's not even like a comment on like bellies, but it's just the posture it forces you to sit in is not one that I think it's not very good presenting, I think.
It's really weird. Like the best thing that you could do if you wanted to look like somewhat decent is like literally just kind of like stand sit, that type of deal, like one leg on the ground, the other leg up. And even then it was weird because it really did force you to like lean forward a bit unless you were like purposefully going way too far back like this. So
yeah,
it was I like the standing better or different stools. Like, I don't know, but I don't really care.
All right, well, right now we're trying to find Leenock. He doesn't appear to be in the channel. I mean, he checked in, so this isn't like Leenock didn't show, but if he doesn't actually turn up, then we'll have to awkwardly sit here for a little bit longer. Wombat Master in chat says, BaseTradeTV, just want to let you know that your announcement of the team house and all your efforts for StarCraft 2 have inspired me to try and leave Bronze League again. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that perilous journey, sir. We got a couple of subs coming in, too. Dares, well, it's not even a sub, it's a bit. You tricked me, you son of a... Cold Rest just subbed to the channel, though. That's brand new. First new sub of the day. Hello and welcome, sir. Snipe Hunt for 33 months. Merry Christmas. And Jono1232 for 11 months as well. Says Merry Christmas, guys. Christmas was yesterday. Hello, where have you all been? Today is Boxing Day, which I sadly have to miss out on because we're casting. Feels bad, man. Yo, I learned Boxing Day I thought was a Canadian thing. It's apparently just like a not American thing. It's like Z versus Z.
I mean, the first time I heard Boxing Day was from like England, so I was more surprised when you said you also had it. And I was like, well, I guess it makes sense because England, like, it's pretty much a boss of everyone for some time.
Okay, I still don't see Leenock, so what I might try and do is, okay, we won't have to wait long. Here's the plan. Here's our backup plan. If Leenock's not here in about 10 minutes, Goblin gets a free walkover, whatever. But Bly waits for an opponent to finish a best of one, and then he'll have an opponent. So Bly will be our plan B, I guess. And we'll go on from there. I particularly didn't pick this match because of the Leenock hype, so much as I wanted to see what Goblin was going to do versus Leenock. Because for those who don't know Goblin, this is the guy who likes to do, like, 19 oracles given the right scenario, like, sort of thing. Like, he plays Protoss a bit different than most, so I think it would have been fun.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Poor guy, we always asked to cast him, and he's always like, it's never gonna live up to that hype, man. I don't know why you keep asking to cast me.
Well, I messaged Bly just to let him know that we're going to try and get him if that doesn't work out, and that's totally fine. Speaking of Leenock and the many Koreans, we've had a really great run doing these Korean events lately. I forgot that we haven't actually had a chance to talk much because you've been traveling for like literally days worth of time. Zeph had a request for you. She was wondering if you would cast the Still Make Korea Great finals with her on the 30th. You don't have to, but it's just I'm remembering now as we're talking on stream.
It's morning, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. morning. But yo,
yeah,
if you guys haven't seen, by the way, we did put out the invites. Now, unfortunately, our last invite we tried to do was Stats, but he's a little bit busy, so he can't attend. So Patience has awesomely stepped up to replace him. So our round of 8 bracket for that is going to be Innovation versus Solar, Bunny versus Sue, Scarlet versus Gumiho, and Zest versus Patience. So that should make for some pretty good round of 8 action.
Cool. Oh. Alright,
Blyce is cool. So we got that on lockdown. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's changing for the Corsair Cup. I probably should tease this till the end of the cast and tell you guys during the finals. I'll just tell you guys now, and I'll mention it as the course of the stream goes. So we mentioned, if you guys tuned in before, you mentioned that, or we mentioned that the Make Korea Great Again tournament was getting picked up by Twitch. We're going to rename the tournament to something a little bit not so memey, and we're going to have a really good year worth of tournaments, and it'll all be powered by Twitch. The Corsair Cup is getting an upgrade too. It's also going to be powered by Twitch. Now you might be wondering, what the hell does that mean? This just sounds like a stupid catchphrase. Yada, yada, yada. Basically, Twitch is going to give us almost double the prize pool money. So the Corsair Cup can have a monthly finals. So these weekly cups will continue to run as normal. $100, top 4 get paid out. But the 4th cup, so the first 3 cups of every month, the top 8 players will get points, the top 4 players will get money, and of course the top 1 player will get an automatic invite to the monthly finals. The monthly finals, you guys know the structure if you've been watching the Alima League, same idea over there. $400 in prizing, thanks to Twitch. So we're going to have quite a bit of cash to throw around to make the Corsair Cup a little bit more hype. I did ask the players, by the way. I went around and messaged a few folks like Thermal and others saying, like, let me know what you guys think. Would you rather us just double each weekly prize pool so it's just $200 a week, or would you rather us throw all that cash into the end and make like a giant cool monthly? And it was almost unanimous amongst the players to say they wanted to have like a monthly finals to work towards. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to also be working with a new website called smash.gg. Some of you guys may be familiar with this, some of you may not. But it's it's a site basically like Challenge for brackets. It's not going to be too different for you, the viewer. It might be a little bit confusing at first for players, so we'll have to like, walk them through it. But it lets us track points in a league system, so it'll be a lot easier to track who gets invited to that monthly finals, and players will be able to see where their point standings are each month, so they know like, oh, I have to finish top 4 or top 8 to have a chance to get in type thing. Well, I guess top 8 is where all the points are, so you'd have to finish top 8. But that's besides the point. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up in 2017 for Corsair Cup. And, again, powered by Twitch is going to be the new slogan. So that's 2 events we're going to have powered up by Twitch for 2017, and I'm looking forward to. But, oh my god, did Leenock just join us at the 11th hour?
He did, yes. Well, I invited him at the 11th hour anyway.
Cool. I told Bly good luck, and then say when ready, guys. Oh wait, you're here. I don't have to do this hosting bullshit. Ah,
you don't.
Promote the lobby host. Oh, I've hated doing this so much. Ugh.
Okay. Well.
Thank you for coming back, Zombie. This is the only reason I fucking have you here. Like, forget a co-caster, forget a friend. Like, I just need someone to host these games.
It's good to know I'm needed.
No, but it is actually good to have you back. And of course, we got some more sub shoutouts to do before we get into the game. Big thank you to McMarsupan for the 10-month resub, Wesley Hill for 2 months, coming back to back, Angel Wings 1 for the 16 months. Says happy Boxing Day. Oh, McMarsupan said 10th month on the hot scale. ACG, nice, very nice. Good. Marcos 4912 for the 20 months also says, Diminish, stop being a little bitch about some stupid cold forehead. Oh, that's mean. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're caught up. Let's get into.
Why would this do it? Why is my mouse and keyboard have invert drag scroll on? Oh my god! And the default overlay. What is happening?
Good luck, have fun, Zombie Grub. So here, the bottom left side of the map for the Corsair Cup, we kick off with a blue European goblin.
Oh. In the top right has the red Zerg. He is Leenock.
I thought this is what you were oh my godding about, because he's very much up to no good. He took the drone on a very alternate route around the map so it wouldn't get scouted. But like, is this for a proxy hatchery? No, it's
in the Autos location, apparently.
What is? Okay, I thought he was just gonna build one at home.
Yeah, so I do recall a couple of proxy hatcheries like this one, where you put it kind of like in this corner pocket of the main and natural. I feel like there's also something about that. Well, I guess that would be the natural and the third on Habitation Station back in the day, too. But I think the point is that, okay, your Spine Crawler Rush takes forever to get to the main base. The point is their natural should already be under siege. So it's really only slightly away from the other place they put their hatcheries, which is to say, like, right in front of this pylon wall. Or in the natural itself.
I was going to say, in the natural itself, I think is a lot more expected. And I know Leenock's going for the unexpected here, but this is still cool. I want to see if this works, because it is such an odd and strange location to place this down. Of course, Goblin, he pretty much has a wall up. I don't think this will be too problematic in that regard, but the distance that this hatchery is will actually spread creep enough, close enough, I believe, that you can put spine crawlers on the high ground.
Yep, that is the purpose of it. And of course, unlike the other location in front of the wall, to put your hatchery, this is like guaranteed not scouted if they just send a probe like the usual way that they do. So it's tricky. It's a tricky build, but Leenock wants to have fun, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I think this is a great tactic when you're playing cross-server. And this is something that has just been proving to beat some of the best. I mean, take a look at Neeb versus Bly series, right? You talk about Nation Wars. I mean, anytime something weird comes down, even the best players in the world can fall against it.
Yeah.
But as far as you just requested chat, this is my bad, guys. I've got restless leg syndrome or whatever. Sorry for rattling around. I'll consciously try and stop, make it a little bit less of a headache. But that creep spread is the first indication this is going down. Zealot walks forward, sees the hatchery. Now he knows what's going on. Creep team are going to come down, but the spine crawlers are finished here in just a moment, and the lings are already out.
I don't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the spine crawlers move forward, and I mean, this is what can Goblin do as an emergency response?
Cry? Fetal position?
A little bit. I mean,
Brace
it's
for
unfortunate
impact.
that they didn't really get any scouting whatsoever to like prepare for this, but second pylon, that's already pretty good.
Well, the overcharge, even if it goes off, I think he knows it's not going to reach much. It's not going to accomplish much. So it's nice to see him saving it, but the Mothership Core in hold position in range of the Queen is just kind of going away for free, and that's not so hot, Goblin.
I can't believe all my... I guess... Oh, wait. Is it because of the recent patch? That must have done it.
He's lifting up and going to the main with the lings, as if like he didn't have a front door open for him. But I like this move, because if there was a single sentry, it would block this out, but there's not. The lings dive through to the main, and this is probably game over right here.
Yeah. Nothing you can really do. I mean, the Robo and Immortal is a really good response to the spine crawlers, but not so great for the lings, and of course it's not coming out right now, so there you go.
I mean, Leenock did a great job playing dirty, and he's even going to bring the queens up to the high ground too. I love this. At this point, it is like almost borderline trolly, but funny enough, because as we see with overcharges and things that threaten him, he's playing it more safe than sorry. Goblin also reestablishes his wall, which would normally be a pretty big deal if Leenock didn't have this drop overlord setup going on.
Yeah.
Gonna kill the pylon once again. This kills all hopes of trying to get that immortal out. This has got to feel so frustrating for Goblin.
Yeah. What's so funny is that Goblin really doesn't have like that bad of a game as of yet, but as his Nexus goes down, that will actually be game.
This
he
queen
didn't lose
drop.
the Nexus. If he could actually save it, he would probably continue holding on for some time. But the Nexus should be the real kicker.
Yeah, I mean the problem is if he pulls anything away from this to defend that Nexus, he loses control of the natural, and it's the only place he's mining from right now. This sort of Overlord drop harass is hilarious. There's no socket. There's nothing to shoot up. He can just stay in this Overlord forever. Main base gets killed. Immortal gets canceled. Hopes diminishing. Transfuse is going down. And this was a very tasty game number one, I gotta say.
I was gonna say, you know, the gateways are finally recharged here, so the stalkers finally come in. The queen harassment will end finally, but only after killing a lot of probes. And again, only on one Nexus. I guess you can say Leenock's also only on one base, because he's not gonna be mining from that hatchery position, but
Banelings, whoa.
Well, okay, that's gonna really... I don't know if they connect, but of course the probes really aren't going anywhere.
I know, they're going...
Here.
They're just gonna come right back to the Banelings at this rate. Oh no! Goblin's just trying to prevent the mega hit.
Alright, Goblin. That's about it.
This is about the tale of Ire, guys, and how it fell. Oh, there we go. There we go. There she blows. GG.
GG.
Game numero uno gonna go to Leenock. Not super surprising, but surprising in the way in which it happened. It's gonna be Goblin's map pick for map number 2, so we'll give him a second to figure out what's going on there. We have Dan Clan 52 says BaseTradeTV. I got a Corsair mouse for Christmas and it's working great. Dude, do us a favor and tweet us a picture of that mouse, son. I got my scimitar floating around right here. It's got all these buttons on the side because I'm a nerd who plays World of Warcraft. What type of mouse did you get? Also, our Christmas giveaway did wrap up, and all 3 of the winners actually responded in due time for once. So, the top 3 items picked were the $200 Yord watch code, the Corsair Void wireless headset, not surprising, and then a K70 keyboard. So all 3 people have been contacted. Unfortunately, if you haven't been contacted, don't expect to be, because the winners have already been selected and chosen, guys.
Where'd the stamp bracket go?
In the meantime, I'm just going to message Dares real quick.
There it is.
Big...
Echo.
Okay, cool. Big shouts and thank you once again. If you guys aren't familiar with Dares, he's the guy whose name in chat looks like it should be pronounced Dares. You're so stupid, Dares. I hate you. He is our admin and, of course, helping us run the tournament. So thank you so much for your behind-the-scenes work, friend. But, man, we had a lot more resubs coming in during that game. Like, I feel like this is a non-stop page of shout-outs. We can go whenever they're ready. I'm just going to quickly get these out of the way. Thank you to Slugger for the 23-month resub. Shandith for the 27-month resub. This is, you know that feeling Wile E. Coyote gets when he realizes the giant boulder is still up there? I guess that's a good way to describe that game, yeah. Jenna Limus, thank you for the 3 months. Treeline for the 19 months. The way out is through. Just new sub. That's good to see. Denerd 100 for 3 months. And Dr. Sidewinder for the 19-month resub. There we go.
Cool. Let's go.
This is like the downside to not streaming for a couple days. Everyone just kind of like barfs up the resubs at the start of the stream. Then we'll have nothing for later on.
Barfs up. Alright. The apt way to put it. Oh boy.
Alright. A couple of the first round games are already over, by the way. Nurcho advancing isn't so surprising. The winner of this plays Cuddle Bear or Lurker. Probably dance around the bracket and try and catch some Nurcho action later, too.
Okay. Sounds good.
Actually, what's surprising to me is Nurcho played against Alive in one of the Corsair Cups recently, and that's not so surprising. But what was surprising was it like tripled the views on YouTube of like some of the Korean versus Korean games we had. It's like, oh, it's interesting. Of course, if you guys ever miss any of our games, we upload them to YouTube pretty darn quick thanks to Joey, aka Nice Username. So you guys can check out our YouTube over on youtube.com/BaseTradeTV. And with that being said, you guys are watching the Corsair Cup. This is game number 2, spawning the bottom right side of the map. We got the blue Protoss player, Goblin.
In the top left, there's the red Zerg. He is Leenock.
He's chosen to stay at home this time.
Sure. I mean, start off with a normal builds, but then I expect something like mid-game cheesy. Probably Overlord drops again. No proxy hatchery supposed in the mid-game, but...
Actually, on the topic of Overlord drops, this is one of those times where I think we can kind of figure out a lot of what we need to talk about from watching the games. But I would love to like talk to some Protoss players and get in their head about the topic of Overlord drops, because with the way Scarlet was 2-0ing everybody, specifically with Overlord drops on Korea, the fact that we saw Leenock do pretty dirty stuff in Game 1, it feels like Overlord drops might be one of the toughest things to deal with.
I mean, when they first came out, of course, they were like too terrible to deal with. I mean, that was... I think you didn't even need, like, what, you just have to transform them? You didn't even need an Evolution Chamber? Or maybe they started Evolution Chamber, then they changed it, and they changed it back to Evolution Chamber. I don't remember, but I do remember that it was really tough for everyone to deal with, including Terrans, but everyone mostly figured it out. So it'd be really weird that it came full circle again, and suddenly it is the thing to do and the thing to beat as Protoss players, but... I do agree, like, it seems to be, I guess, just an additional thing that Zerg can do against the poor Protoss. Not necessarily OP in itself, but that the availability is so common. It's, you know, obviously an Overlord's always going to be in position, and it doesn't cost that much to dedicate to an Evolution Chamber and an Overlord drop.
I think the part that's so harrowing, it's weird to look at, right? You consider on one hand there's, like, Terran who just have, like, a couple Marines to push it away. You only really need a Stalker, but most of the time... And that's probably why we're seeing the Stalker, by the way. Most of the time, if you see a Stalker out, like, then there's no Adepts doing pressure. There's nothing to stop big Ling Floods. I mean, I love the idea of a single Stalker here, or even maybe one or two, but because it's Echo. But a single Stalker to drive away Overlords, I think, is massive.
It could be very, very helpful, but you're right. Like, it does take away, of course, from the Adept opener that you see a lot more people doing. Twilight Council's already on the way here. That's pretty quick. So, I mean, I would guess Resident Enclaves, but again, they start opening with a Stalker. This could just be not for dealing with Overlord drops, which it does, but also just to get the Overlords, stop it from scouting. Occasionally, you can also pick up a freebie Overlord if you know exactly where their Overlord's going. I would say that this isn't 100% the most common direction of the Overlord on Echo. In fact, Leenock just like lets it die. But I still think that it gone all the way to the right. Maybe that soccer still catches it.
Well, what's going to be kind of interesting, thank you for the bits, by the way. What's kind of interesting is the Overlords are normally going to be trying to scout, not just the Robo, but specifically, I think, the Dark Shrine that is really common in the matchup right now. So, not having Resonating Glaives coming out, but instead possibly a big Adept all-in, that's something Leenock would need to see coming. So, this Overlord denial is good because it stops the potential drops, but it also keeps Leenock from getting the information he needs going forward. I mean, back at home, he's on 3 bases, and that's quite nice, but he is droning pretty heavily. If Goblin decides to turn this up to 10 and throw down like 5 more gateways, then Leenock might start sweating.
Yeah. I mean, this is still going to be potentially a nice amount of damage with that Warp Prism. There's always a chance that the Adepts... Well, they're almost always guaranteed to get like 5 drones, but even more sometimes. There are the additional gateways as well, and this is really turning into that all-in here.
Did I say 5? I clearly meant 6. You can never have too many gateways, Zombie Gruff.
Oh, okay, no, it's a level 7. All right. Usually it's 1, 3, and then whatever else you put on. But this time it was 1, 2, and then 5. But anyways, a lot of gateways, right? So that is going to be something Leenock has to deal with and has to be prepared for. Now, he hasn't seen a whole lot. He's just seen the gateway timings, which it really isn't a lot. But he also saw the lack of gases at the natural, which is probably a little more revealing. And then, of course, the lack of a third base, which would be even more revealing. But he doesn't have roaches. He doesn't have a roach warren. And only lings are going to have a tough time defending against this, even if he gets the banelings, which the banelings only just came down.
And it's at the third, too, so it's really cut off. If Goblin just puts all his warp-ins and all his dedication towards that third, Leenock might not even be able to keep that alive. We do have some Spine Crawlers coming down. I actually love this move. It's not going to do a lot, but it stops the Adepts from the auto attacks, so they would just get freebies on those drones. So soaks up a lot of time, builds that little bit of extra defense, but we'll see if it's going to be enough to stop Goblin. Goblin has a lot of Adepts, and he's going to be warping in several more as we speak. Gets the Creep Tumor on top of this, the Live Tumor goes down. Realizing this is dangerous, Leenock starts darting towards his natural with those lings, but the cancel goes off. Now the drones are stuck behind the mineral lines.
Yeah. I mean, Goblin has to be pretty careful. He sees the Baneling Nest is finished, and he shouldn't have all his Adepts clumped up. If he does, then sure, Banelings can be effective, but you're going to need more than his 5. 10 is like an okay amount, and Goblin should be spreading them anyway. I think Goblin is a good shot to win this game, basically.
Yeah, he's got quite the Adept army going for him. Of course, these Banelings don't have that bonus health just yet. And as the Adepts are kind of taking those hits, he's already killed quite a few drones. 15 might be enough to make this worthwhile.
Yeah,
GG.
Leenock, not expecting the all-in, I guess. But Adept all-ins are...
Adepts
I feel like
are
they're as
cool.
common as ever, so I don't know. I'm just guessing that.
Adepts are really cool. Okay, it's going to be Leenock's map pick. Before we go to commercial break, because we are going to stick one in really quick, I would like to thank the people who have donated to the fundraiser since the last time we were on stream. So thank you, Crypt8 for the $15, Mr. Halloween55 for the $5, Gorbut's Joff for the $20, Dove and Wolf for the $60, and Powerful and Evil Dude for the $10. Our fundraiser is getting closer and closer to that 2,000 goal, but I do want to remind everybody, the Zombie Grub and I have made the pledge that any stream donations we get over the next few months are going to go directly into that fundraiser. So if you don't want to use Match Arena to donate, you can use our stream tips as well. And of course, for those who do donate to the stream tips, be aware where your money's going. We want to make this really awesome tournament happen, and we got to make that Scarlet cooking stream dream come true. But quick commercial break while we get the lobby up, and we'll see you guys soon. Alright folks, hello, we're back, and just in time for that countdown to go down. We lucked out with Goblin needing to go to BRB, because that actually took a few seconds longer than I expected even, but looks like we're ready to roll, so let's hop into the game.
Ready then?
Now it is map 3, things are tied up 1-1. This is the very first best of 3 of the day. We got quite a few games ahead of us still, so if you guys are just tuning in, thank you and good morning, or afternoon, or evening, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. Regardless, though, as we said, game number 3 kicks off, and in the bottom left side, we got the blue Protoss, the European defender, Goblin.
In the top right, as the red Zerg, he is Leenock.
So Leenock, I think, did fantastic in game number 1, but again, like if this was some unknown player, if this wasn't Leenock as we know him, you start kind of going like, what a noob, does he rely on cheese? Because that last game was pretty bad. Scouting got shut down early, and that was good on Goblin's behalf, but at the same time, Leenock should have known, like, okay, this guy is going for a lot of pushback on my overlords, what's he trying to hide? And I think the timing was almost right, like, you know, those banlings were just coming out, like, a little bit too late. He had almost had the units to defend with, but unfortunately,
right. Actually, a little bit questionable if he would have had a unit to deal with, because again, like banelings, really, I'm still really shocked to see Zerg players, especially in an emergency, but even just like as their defensive building, throw down a baneling nest. I just feel like it's been forever since that was an effective answer. You know, like it was effective when Dark did it a while ago, and it was like, oh my god, oh my Jesus. And then everyone else was like, you know, they split a little bit, you warp in, you know, your second round of adepts a little farther back, you know, not right in the face, and it just doesn't seem to do very much.
Well, that's what's key right there, the start of what you said with splitting, because if I think the Protoss player just kind of A moves and relies on adepts in a low skill fashion, then I think banelings are the best way to deal with it. But if it is something where they're splitting like Neeb and they're not taking much, then yeah, the banelings look to fall a little bit flat. But,
yeah, well, I think Protosses have gotten, most of them have gotten to that point anyway.
The question yields in chat, but I must bring it up on stream. That's right, you've been gone for so long. You're now back and reunited with your cats. How have things been?
Yeah, so it's really sad, I guess, because, you know, Pyro passed away like a couple weeks ago, so Apollo hasn't had anyone to play with, and he's just been, like, trying to get Mom to do it, but my mom slept on ice, like, a week ago, so she hasn't been able to move very much. So I came home, and the first, like, he just, like, I was like, Apollo! Apollo! And he just, like, looked at me, like, he was like, wait, you're back? And then I went up to him, of course, like, hug him, pick him up, and he just started meowing like crazy, and, like kind of, like, moving me towards the direction of his, he has, like, a box of play toys, basically.
Mom, you're back!
Yeah, and he just kept meowing over and over again. And then, of course, throughout the rest, like, the past 2 days, he just hasn't left me. Like, I go to sleep, he follows me. I go downstairs, he follows me. Yeah, I sleep on the floor, he's all curled up next to me. I take a nap on the couch, and he's all curled up in my lap.
That's
basically the best cat ever.
Adorable.
I know, right? I really wanted to get well, I tried to take as many images as possible, but then I would have flooded my Twitter timeline, and I didn't want to do that.
I feel like with you being who you are, that would have been acceptable. Like if you're following somebody who's a known dog person and they flood their Twitter with like pictures of their dog, no one's gonna think twice about it.
I don't know.
Cat lady with a camera? I said go for it.
Yeah, I did miss him a lot, and he very clearly missed me a lot. So I really feel very bad because he doesn't have anyone to play with. Poor Ziggy is probably gonna go next, man. He's nothing but skin and bones. Can't play with Apollo anymore. They're getting old, man.
For those who don't know, ZvP has like 4 cats.
Yeah, I have 4 cats now. So Ziggy's all old. Like, he's 13 years old, and he should have had a heart attack years ago. Like, I'm surprised he lasted this long with how skittish he is. And then Baby and Nala are 17 and a half years old. Like, that's fucking old for a cat.
That is. That's almost as old as you are. That's really old.
Okay, not that quite. Not quite that much.
Well, in terms of, like, they're closer to your age than they are further apart.
Okay, that is true. All there.
But anyways, while we've been talking, of course, we had no problem and no shame in discussing Zombie Grub's Pussycats because this game was going a little bit slow, but now it's starting to heat up a bit. Difference is, Leenock had some pretty nice scouting. He saw a lot of what was coming. Roach Warren's almost finished up. He's got plenty of drones on 3 bases. If this is the same gimmick all in at a Goblin, it's not going to work out the same way, potentially. But the problem with the depths is they do snowball. You know, 'tis the season and all that, and if this gets out of hand, even roaches won't be able to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, that is the scary thing about a mass adept all-in, is that even if you do have technically what you need, which I've always seen mass slings or speedlings and roaches to be the best one. Again, banelings just don't seem to add very much, or certainly not enough. Then even still, you could have them in the wrong position. They could get into the mineral lines. All 3 of your mineral lines still kill like 40 drones. And you're sure you're left with an army, but you still can't break a 2-base Protoss. Like, we've seen that game a lot of times. But if he is just going to attack into one hatchery with all of his adepts, then lings and roaches should be totally fine. Plus, Leenock invested into a spine crawler per mineral line. So even if they get in the mineral line, it shouldn't be as easy to kill any drones. This is actually the perfect defense in Zerg.
Yeah, I really love the investment in this. You got to consider no drones were actually killed through that stutter step, or excuse me, like 2 were. But the point is, that's the difference of like 2 versus 18. The spine crawlers are expensive, yeah, but they guarantee the drones' lives. They hold down here to the 3rd, and this has been a fantastic hold out of Leenock so far.
Yeah, this is exactly what you would want. Again, I don't think. I mean, Banelings, I suppose, could have still been an answer. If you have 20 in preparation and you just swamp the Adepts, then, like, kudos, that's the way to go. But Roaches filing out, but in good enough numbers, with Spinecrawlers and Mineral Line, this is probably the easiest way to do things. It's super hard for the Adept to take on enough Roaches, and it's very difficult for them to take on a Mineral Line when the Spinecrawler's distracting their attack.
So, what I want to point out, too, is... First off, it was great that Goblin beat Leenock in Game 2. That was really cool to see. And he's doing some admirable damage, but this all-in isn't quite paying off. However, I think part of this might just be he had just done this trick, right? Like, if this was him doing this in Game 1, not doing the same thing in Game 2, and then bringing it back for Game 3, Leenock might have been a little bit less well-prepared. But this was almost the perfect defense, because I think Leenock, right from the get-go, said, I bet he's going to do that Adept crap again. Like, I bet you it's going to be the same gimmicks, the same attack.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so well-defended. Roach is cutting this off, even if these transfer through. The drones have been continually pulled and caught. Like, there's just not a lot to kill in the first place.
Yeah. Well, this is... You think about the Adepts, of course, is that you could keep on warping them in and hoping one time they kill a Mineral Line, but even then that wouldn't have been enough. So Goblin just cut his losses and tapped out right then and there.
Well, GG's to Leenock. He'll advance onto the brackets. We hope to see him do well. He goes up against Cuddle Bear next. We may swap to that series. Bottom side, we got the Korean Tails also playing. I think we'll just follow Leenock for easiness sake. I think Cuddle Bear is Zerg. This might be a ZvZ. I don't recall. Either way, guys, this will be on Newkirk Precinct, so I'll leave it to you to host, madam. And we'll follow these guys a little bit further into that bracket. That being said, again, if you guys want to see the brackets yourselves, type !bracket in chat to check it out. Shy of that, once again, the reminder, check out our mega tournament fundraiser. Really, any small contributions, guys, big or small, $1, $10, whatever you can afford, is going to help push us towards our goal. $30,000 is ambitious. $30,000 seems almost insane. But I think once we have the house, because we have the house purchased and all this, but I think once we actually have it up and running, it'll be a little bit easier to show you guys what we're trying to do with it. So we're not trying to push the fundraiser super crazy hard right now, but it is one of those things where it has started, and we'd love any help we can get. That being said, we're going to go to a small commercial break, and we'll see you guys in a couple minutes with a brand new series when we return.